All right, guys, so I'm going to show you how to use ConversionAssist on a daily basis. We do not want to overwhelm you. We want to keep this super simple, allow you to run your business and not have to worry about how to use technology or what kind of features or any of that stuff. So this is going to be really simple, and it's going to apply to 95% of you guys. There's a lot of things ConversionAssist can do, but on a daily basis, most of those things you don't even have to worry about. Really what you have to worry about is communicating with your customers that are reaching. Our system is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. We're sending out review requests, maybe we're sending out emails, we're sending out pre-booking texts, things like that without you even need to be involved. So when you log into ConversionAssist, just look at your conversations tab right here, and this is where you're going to focus your time for the most part. So right now things are blurred out, you can't really see them all, but I will go ahead and unblur them because quite honestly this is just a test account anyway, and you'll be able to see a little bit of the information here. So what we've got basically is a conversation stream. So these are all phone calls and there's like a text, but this is where your Google My Business chats would come in, your Facebook Messenger chats, soon WhatsApp will be in here, Instagram direct messaging, your reviews, everything, every bit of communication that you get from customers from anything in our system will all flow through this list. And this is super powerful because you don't have to jump around from login to login and have all of your staff, miss notifications, which means you miss business most of the time, or you're not responding to people fast enough. And this will all live in one place, so you can find whatever you're looking for whatever channel that you guys use to talk to that customer in one place. And so what happens is when you're on this page, by default, you see your unread messages. This is like a call that came in. You can see it says call right here. It's got a little phone icon. This is the date that it happened. And if there was a recording, you would see it right here. Some of these don't have recordings. I'm trying to find one that does. This one does. So I can see it's a 4-second recording. And that's really helpful because if you ever need to go back and find a conversation that one of your staff members had, you can do that right here or under that particular contact's record if it's a person that you have in your system already. It's very helpful. So when you see your unread messages, if I wanted to say mark this one as read, I could do so right here. Just click mark as read on the top right, and now it's no longer there. If I want to see starred conversations, I don't have any, but let's just say this conversation was super important. I can click right here and mark it as starred, and there it is. That's an important conversation, or I could just see all. So I can see all the conversations happening. If I want to mark things read in bulk or whatever, star them, if I do so right here by selecting all. Sometimes it limits it to like 20 results on the first page, but you use the options to show more at the bottom if you have more than that. And again, you can see our latest, our oldest. There's also some other filters. What if I just want to see all the emails that came in, or the calls, or the voicemails, or GMBs, or whatever? I can do that right here by filtering. I can see conversations assigned to members of my team if we are using that feature, or chats that I've been involved in, or things that have not been assigned to somebody. So again, super easy, but this is where you're going to spend most of your time. Let's say we are going to have a text conversation with somebody. I would use this as an example right here. We'll use this one. On the very bottom of this page, you'll see there's a little bump out button right here. And right now it says SMS because this was a phone call. And so the only way I can communicate with this person is by SMS. But if this contact who doesn't have a name, I also had an email address, right? So I add their email here, like test@test.com. Then I'll see in just a moment, there'll be the option for email. If they reach out to us through Facebook Messenger, that will also give us the ability to use Facebook Messenger to respond. So we can choose the method of communication we want here, and we can type messages, we can add attachments, we can add emojis if we want. And then this really, really powerful feature that we love is use a template. So let's say, for example, you are always having people ask the same questions over and over. Maybe it's about parking, maybe it's about your cancellation policy, whatever that is. You can simply click on use a template. You choose it. You have to obviously have it created already. This is a bad weather template as an example. I can just choose that template. And then here it'll say, hello, contact first name, which in this case, they don't have a first name, but if they did, they would have their first name. Your reservation's been canceled due to unsafe conditions, blah, 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 blah. And I can change this template at any time. Now, if I wanted to add a template to something I'm already typing, let's just say I had, example, text, and I apply a template, it will overwrite whatever I have in this box. So it's really helpful to know that you want to apply the template before you do any editing to it. Otherwise, it'll just overwrite whatever else you have there. You can hit send now or send later if you want to schedule it for like an hour or in the morning or something like that. If it's late at night, you're just burning the midnight oil, you can do that. So really, really simple, very easy to do, and that's how you use templates. Now, where you create the templates, you see right here at the top, says templates. So this is where I can go through and I can add a template. It could be an email or a text template. We're talking about text, so that's what we have. We could basically give it a name. We'll just say like example review referral request. And we get something like, hey, custom value would be like contact's first name. Hey, contact first name. We loved having you over. You know, do you have any friends? Have any friends that would enjoy this experience, right? It's just an example. I'm not saying we'd actually want to send it to anybody. You can hit save, and now you'll see that example message is in our list somewhere right here. I can edit it. I can do a test send to myself. If you want to attach a file, you can. I don't really recommend that necessarily, but you can. You can copy and paste emojis, and we've got a lot of other information. So under the contact, you may want to include this, but you don't have to. There's a thing called custom fields, and you'll see there's like booking start dates, booking revenue. So maybe you say like, hey, I know you have a booking on booking start date. You know, we can't wait to see you, right? That can be an example of a message, something like that. That's how that works. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that so you have an understanding of how templates work. Now going back to the other place you might wanna look is contacts. That's this option right here, contacts. And for contacts, you're just gonna see a list of all the contacts you have. If they have email addresses, they'd be here. We've got certain columns like tags, like their last activity, which we can actually change right here to the default that we want to look at. So I would recommend having something like booking revenue, booking start date would be two that I would have. You probably don't necessarily need the tags. You may not need the date. Keep the date they're created. You may not need the last activity. That's just the last time they interacted with you. And so now you've got people who have booking revenue and the start dates. You can tell they actually are a customer, how much money you've made, and when their booking date starts. So this is really helpful. For example, you want to find a certain group of customers that have the same booking start date. You can use filters to do that right here. Look for a booking start date, and you can say it's, you know, it's in a range or whatever. And then what you can do is mass text everybody. So you want to do a cancellation, the weather's really bad. You can select everybody that's in that list, and you can choose to send an SMS, use your template, say, hey, bad weather, we're gonna give you a refund, whatever you wanna do, or we're gonna reschedule, we're gonna reach out to you. If you have a list that you like, you can save it. So you can see I saved a book customers list. And this is basically a list of everybody that is a book customer. How do we know they're book customers? They have a booking date. So you can see my filters right here. Their date is not empty. I could change it to include whatever. Their first name is Joe. I can hit save. I can save it as a new list, whatever I want to do here. And that will allow me to have a quick place to reference those people. So this could be useful for like people who book certain types of tours. So maybe you want to have a custom list for people who did a boat tour. You just create a filter. You create a new filter, so to all for a second here. Don't save, we don't want to save those changes. And we can just basically use something like booking type. Booking type is, and you have to use the exact name of what it is, or contains. Maybe we've got multiple pontoon options here in this case, right? So if it contains pontoon, then we know this is a customer for the pontoon, and we can just save it as a smart list, name it, so pontoon booking. Hit save. You're gonna see it shows up right here. Now, if you want this list to show up for everybody, not just yourself, you just go right here to manage smart lists. You can see the one I just created. You're gonna wanna hit the share. There's no other users, but you'd see other users, or make it a global list, and then that means that everybody in the company can see it, not just you. So that's how that would work. And that's basically how we use contacts. So beyond that, the only other place you might fancy, you don't really have to use it, but it comes in handy if you want to see some of your phone calls in bulk and you want to really dig into the phone calls. You don't really want to use the conversation tab. You've got your call report. Call report, and we'll actually talk about reputation as well. So for your call report, you can have a lot of information. If you're, using like Google ads and Facebook ads, you've got phone numbers for different things. You can filter by that. You can change the date range. You can see the phone calls that you have, or they answered. Is it the first time the person called? So you know how many unique people you get. You can look at some filters here. Turn on the first time calls. That's all you see if you want. There's a lot of different filters. And of course, you can hear the call recording from right here. I can hit play, I can hear it, I can download it, whatever I want. I can mark it as qualified or unqualified if I wanted to for my own purposes. But again, this gives you a really good feel for the calls that are happening. And sometimes this is great to get a feel for how your staff is doing answering the phone. I can't tell you how many times, it's very revealing to hear how people answer the phone, because you think that they're doing it one way and reality is they're doing it another way. So I'll leave it at that. And then again, the last, and this is again optional, you don't have to go every day, it's just if you want to know where it is. And then for reputation, if you want to just get a feel for where your reviews are, we don't have any here, but you'll get a feel for how many of those review invitations went out to our system, how many reviews you got, whether it's through our system or not, how many were like positive or negative, depending on how people responded. And you start seeing some trends, start seeing who was the latest to, get a review request, who actually gave the latest review. As you get reviews coming in, you can respond to them. You'll see them in your conversation stream. So it'll have like the stars and Dustin left a review, and you can click on it and it'll say respond to review right here. And you can thank them. Hey, thanks for that review. It's really nice. You don't have to jump in and out and go into Google or go into Facebook to respond to those reviews. So hopefully that's really helpful. Again, I'll just say that the main places you're going to want to focus is conversations and contacts. That's basically it. And for the most part, conversations, unless you need to find certain people or groups of people, that's where you can use contacts. Everything else is basically conversations. So don't worry, this is meant to be simple. It's meant to work in the background for you so you don't have to run the machine. It just helps you systemize the business. It keeps it really simple. If you have any questions about anything else, let us know. Happy to help you, and thanks for being a customer. Take care.